Hey guys, we did part some or all of this and we looked for our patterns and answered each of these questions. So this first one, we noticed there were definite patterns. The perimeter was 4, then 8, then 12, then 16, then 20. Some students noticed this does kind of look like a sequence if we just look at the Y values. We also noticed there's a sequence here. This is adding 1 each time. So that's an additive sequence. When we look at the name of the lesson, it says additive patterns. That's when we're adding. And arithmetic, that's again when we're adding. And sequence means a list of numbers, What we also noticed is that our side could have been our input, whatever our side is. And when we multiply by 4, and a lot of folks notice when we multiply by 4, we end up getting this output. And that's our perimeter. Okay? Now, these same observations were used to answer the questions here. I just kind of all put them there. So this is like, what is the value of S to determine P? So this is the S. We take S and we multiply by 4 and we get P. If we want to, instead of using the whole word side, we use just the letter S. All right? Makes sense? All right, so then we looked at these, and I think depending on the class, I think most people I can give you, it looks like we have 1, 3, 5, 7, so it looks like we're adding 2 each time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. It looks like each time we're adding a new row. So these 2 got added, then these 2 got added, these 2 got added, those 2 got added. You were supposed to fill in 2 more pictures and briefly describe the pattern. You could have done that with the picture, or you could have done that with the numbers. Right? So the way we describe patterns in our lesson was we started with 1 and added 2 each time. Here we noticed we started with 5 and we added 1 on the end of each one. So it looks like we're adding 4 each time. Okay. Here it was interesting. We started with, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We started with 7. I think this was my number pattern I used. And then you're adding 1 on the top, 1 on the diagonal, and 1 on the bottom each time. So it looks like you're adding 3 each time. So each of these are very interesting. And we should be able to draw 2 more pictures. I'm not going to go into it. Hopefully you get the point. Now, we have a similar pattern. And again, you can observe this. It's much the same as the first one. I think most students were making sense of this. They notice that these numbers are going up by 1, so there's no mystery there. But these numbers are like, they're going up. So again, in our brain, we're like, well, how far up? If you're trying to figure out what got added, you subtract. So 60 take away 35. Here's our calculator. All right, 60 take away 35 is 25. Then if I add another 25, I do get 85. So if I add another 25, I get 110. If I add another 25, you get the point. You keep going. Here, let's figure out, how did I go there? Well, apparently I did not add, I subtracted. So let's figure out what I subtracted. 41 take away 27. 41 take away, oh, what happened here? It's giving me 41 take away 27. 14. Okay, so that's 14. If I subtract 27 from 14, I get 13. That's good. Then if I subtract 14 again, I get -1. And that's okay. I'm just following the pattern. So I have 13, take away 14, -1. Take away another 14, -15. Take away another 14. I just keep going, -28. 29, excuse me. So I'll leave this last one for you. Now, we did this, and then I assigned it the IXL. So I'm going to show you that here in a minute. But again, it says continue this for the next 5. So 15, and then something, and then something, and then something, and then something, and this something. So we have to figure out what happened. So again, I'm going to assume I added. So if I subtract, I get 4. And now I'll test that out. When I subtract this, I get 4. Yeah, okay. So one more time, let's subtract those two, figure out what we get, 4. Yep. So I need to add 4, and then add 4 again, and then add 4 again, and then add 4 again, and then add 4 again. And now I've done it. I continued the arithmetic sequence. So this is what this thing is called. And it keeps on going. So that's this concept of sequence. Now it says, fill in these missing terms. So in one class and not in the other, we talked about these terms. So let's think about each of these. We have 3, don't know, and then 19. Well, how much did it jump the 2 steps? It went up, so let's figure out how far up. That'd be 16. Okay, and then it went how far up again? So it looks like I added 16. And that's 16 again. So we're thinking here, what middle step did I do the same thing to? And a couple students said, oh, we should divide by 2 and get 8. So apparently they're adding 8 every step, which means that's the same thing as adding 16 every 2 steps. When I add 8 every step, it's the same as adding 16 every 2 steps. So to finish, one sec. To finish, sorry about that, we're going to just add 8. So this would be 11, add 8, 27, just double check our work, 27 plus 8, 35. Yep. All right, now let's do B. Now instead of in 2 steps, I got to do it in 3 steps. So instead of dividing by 2, I'm probably going to divide by 3, right? Hopefully that makes sense. So in 3 steps, they went from 5 to 17, so that's 12. So when I divide 12 by 3, I get 4. So I'm going to try out adding 4 each time and see if that works. So 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 4 is 13. All right, just keep doing it. Plus 4 is 17, I did it. So I wanted to start at 5 and end at 17. And I've done that by adding 4 each time. So my missing terms were 9 and 13. All right, nice work, guys. Now our last thing we want to do is finish up on our assignment. So again, our assignment was we returned to class, work on our vertical erase boards, created some sequences, took some notes. So we want to upload those notes. And then it also says solving 1 and 2 step linear equations were already due. So we want to make sure that we have those done. And then I assigned for next time these 3 assignments, P1, P2, and P3. All right, so again, I'm just going to show you how to get there if you don't already know how. And I think almost everybody, we do know how because we worked through it, right? So we go to Clever. You want to make sure you go through Clever. And if you put a heart on IXL, there it is, IXL. You can also look in the search box. And you want to look at these assignments. So P1, we're identifying if it's arithmetic or geometric. And this is the way the questions look. And if you're not sure how to do them, let's see if I can try to do the question. See how my interface looks different than yours. I'm going to go to learning. Go to algebra. Yeah, let's just take a look at these skills. So if I click there, it'll let me practice. So it says learn with an example. So if you're not sure, you're like, wait, we talked about arithmetic today. And then what's geometric? So it says arithmetic was when there's a constant difference, meaning you're adding or subtracting, right? So I can go back here in my notes and I notice from IXL, it's like, oh, I didn't really learn that today, but I can learn it on IXL. It says in an arithmetic sequence, I'm adding or subtracting. And in a geometric, I'm multiplying or dividing. So we did go over that today. We just didn't confirm what it's called. All right. So now when you go back to this assignment, now that you know that you're multiplying each time or adding, that's how you can help solve that. Okay. So back to practice. It looks like 25 and 16. So 25 minus 16, you added 9. All right, and then the next one, it doesn't look like you add 9. So it looks like I may be multiplying, but I'm not multiplying by the same number. So I'm going to say neither. Brilliant. So that happened in class. When I walked around, I noticed some students were neither multiplying or dividing. They were doing different numbers. Okay, so you can work on a couple questions. It'll save your work and you can kind of move between the 3 assignments. Here's one similar. It looks like they're adding 3 each time. So I'm going to guess 50 here, right? Add 3, add 3, add 3. So 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. Okay, so this one's definitely an arithmetic sequence. And you notice everyone in this assignment, I'm just adding and subtracting. So this one's probably a little easier if you want to switch to this one first. All right, it's been fun. Thanks for joining me, guys.